Fasting is crazy. When you dive into the terms of fasting, like the first time I actually took fasting seriously, I realized how big of a piece of crap I am.
George Janko and Russell Brand have gotten together again. I'm just going to analyze this short clip for you all. They're talking about the importance of fasting. Let's get straight into the clip.
Basically, throughout the gospel, Jesus is like teaching his disciples how to be like him and cast out demons and do all of these things. And so there was one time the disciples are trying and they just can't get this demon out. And then Jesus came and he's like, bounce. And then the demon was like, poof, and it was gone. And he's like, yo, what's up? Why couldn't I do that? And he said, sometimes you got to fast. I think what happens is God puts this in our way. So that way, when we tried everything in our life, everyone we know, every position of power, and it still doesn't move, and then we fast and we just give it to the king and say, you deal with it, and then poof, it's gone. There's no doubting where it came from. So when I go to Bibles, I want to make sure that this is there because usually it's taken out.
Okay, so just a point of clarification. The reason that that's missing, Matthew 17:21, is not necessarily because it's demonic, because that would be to say that the devil has power over what is or is not in scripture. The reason it's not in every single Bible translation is because it's only in some of the less ancient Greek manuscripts that we have. So some translations prefer to have it in, some translations, the devil did not steal this verse. I don't think George is sinning by saying this. I just think it's a point of clarification and education.
Read us the verse, please.
Oh, I'm so scared of reading in front of people. If you don't mind. And you have such a beautiful accent.
You've got a beautiful accent. This is Matthew 17:20. And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting.
Fasting is crazy. When you dive into the terms of fasting, like the first time I actually took fasting seriously, I realized how big of a piece of crap I am. Because when I was hangry and tired and exhausted, I was angry and I wasn't acting Christ-like. So it was like hilarious. Like, are we only good people because we're satisfied of what our surroundings are and what we eat and how we move and how we talk?
I love that because, you know, like sort of right now, I'm like a little bit tired, you know, and I sort of feel that it don't take too much for my conditions to alter before I become, like, I have to recognize how conditional my good grace is and my will is. But I also like that you're pointing out, actually, discipline is what you're pointing out, and discipleship.
I've experienced this as well. You realize how you're so self-seeking in everything that you do. I recently read Abolition of Man by C.S. Lewis, and the truth is we way too often trade in what we ought to do for what we want to do. Right. And the problem with that is you're just feeding your stomach, you're feeding your flesh. Your wants don't have a ultimate kingdom of ends. Your wants don't care about the spiritual things that last forever. They want to steal from the future and discard the past. But what fasting does is it focuses you on the things that last forever, the spiritual things. And what Russell Brand goes on to say, I didn't have time to unwrap the whole video today, but he goes on to say that fasting is actually a practice. The God we serve wants us to have things in due time, and fasting puts us in a position of humility and helps us to seek first the kingdom. When was the last time you went on a fast? For me, it's probably been too long. I try to live a lifestyle of fasting. I deny myself daily in small ways, but a dedicated fast is still a really good thing to do. So maybe you should think about doing one, as should I.